This is the Big O Show. 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 This is...
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura Integra for only $289 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Where can you drive the new 2025 Acura RDX for only $399 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It's big. It's gigantic. It's the Toyota of Hollywood Super Sale. Over 2,000 Toyotas from just $17,988. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,988. Buy with 0% financing, 0 down. Join the fun and get a super deal at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
South Florida, listen carefully. Osmani Garcia with Omega Realty Group is changing the game. He's not just listing homes. He's guaranteeing to sell yours in 30 days or less, or he'll buy it himself. No excuses, no delays, no fine print games. This is real. If you're serious about selling, call 305-440-1990 and see if your home qualifies. Osmani Garcia delivers results. Osmani Garcia, the home of the 30-day sale guaranteed, where guarantees are backed by action. Call now, don't wait. This market won't wait for you. Restrictions apply. Call 305-440-1990.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys. and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Where can you drive a new Acura ZDX for only $439 a month? There's just one place, Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard. Welcome all. Yes, sir. We are ready to rock and roll. It is Tuesday. Not a double shot Tuesday, but it's a Tuesday. And we are here ready to talk about a lot of interesting topics today. Very interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting. Very enlightening today with the kind of the stuff that's going on, and we can talk about juicy. I like it. David Furones also will join us today on Le Programme. The Panthers are off, which is good, till Wednesday. Tomorrow is when they'll play Game 5. It allows Toronto to stew on, losing those 2 games and getting dominated. So it's really good that way. And, they can remember Kachuk's face saying that he's going to get you and all that kind of stuff. So it's good. It's good. It's good. It's the mental games, the physical games, all that kind of stuff. Panthers showing the killer edge, which is what you need in sports, right? Which is what Zonka had, right? What Alonzo Mourning had. What Dwayne Wade had, that kind of stuff, what Miguel Cabrera had, that when you have that, Josh Beckett had it, it's beautiful when you have that. And we have it right now with the Panthers. No one else, but we have it with the Panthers, which is really, really cool. And we all must appreciate the hell out of that. And looking forward to tomorrow, man. Looking forward to tomorrow in a big time way. Got a lot of interesting stuff, really good news too, to talk about for you Bitcoiners. Bad news for us. It's like one of those. It's one of those good news on one end, horrible news on the other end, and then some people will benefit. Others will completely lose out. So it's twisted, but it's an actual story, and that's kind of the way it goes. Anyway, so we wait for the Panthers. Oh, by the way, Inter Miami, the Old Farts play tomorrow in San Jose at 10:30, and then Sunday against Orlando City, which is absolutely insane. Knicks last night got it done against the Celtics, and then Tatum got injured. That was ugly. You could tell right away. Sean, did they finally say it was an Achilles? Because you know what? Now I went to sleep, and now I woke up and prepared for the show, and I completely forgot to look it up. To me, it was an Achilles right away. When I saw it, I was exchanging with one of the listeners on X, and I said, "Looks to me like an Achilles." So, what was he
scheduled for an MRI today?
All right. Okay.
It just says, scheduled for MRI after appearing to seriously hurt lower leg versus Knicks. That's the headline. I haven't said anything else that I see. That was an hour ago.
All right. That's the way I see it. Translation: partially torn Achilles. Not because when it's completely torn, you can tell it rolls up in the back of your leg. You know what I mean? So Doesn't make any sense, is what I'm saying. I don't know. It's crazy. But all right. We'll find out. Just one thing. Did you watch the game last night, Sean, when he got injured? Was he doing the curly shuffle? Just wondering. Don't want to make light of the injury. Not trying to make light of the injury. And you youngins, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But I'm just wondering, was he doing the curly shuffle? I know he wasn't going to yuck, yuck, yuck at the same time, but it looked like the curly shuffle to me, you know? And by the way, somebody should bring that back as a celebration. Touchdown celebration or something like that. Just start doing the curly shuffle and confuse the shit out of people. Oh, Lord. Just show my age there. But at the same time, it educates you people out there, because really, how am I going to replace the curly shuffle? Nobody else has done it. There's like no modern curly shuffle. You know what I mean? So where am I going to get that reference? It's only one place. Just saying. Did anybody think of the curly shuffle yesterday? That's the first thing I saw. Poor man gets injured, and then I see the curly shuffle. He got injured, and I go, wait a minute, that's the curly shuffle. Just, just one of those things. You never really, after all these years, I've seen a lot of things in sports. I never thought I would actually see somebody get injured and do the curly shuffle at the same time. That's kind of on the floor. That is the curly shuffle. Anyway, hello all out there. I see you all coming in on the chat board. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it as always. What else? There's I gotta commend Omar Kelly. Omar Kelly had an article today. Not surprised at all, but you can check it out in the Miami Herald. I have not read much lately when it comes to the Dolphins, as I told you. I already got in trouble for it once with poor Kyle Krabs. I love Kyle. He's a good dude. And I was, there wasn't enough ripping of Mike McDaniel. And I'm like, man, whatever. And I just threw out, his website just because I was in, I was in the heat of the moment. I was just going to throw out whatever. And that's the first thing that came to mind because I like him. And so I was wrong. Kyle was actually hammering McDaniel, and I didn't know. And so I apologized to him and everything. He's a good dude. I saw the article. Somebody sent me a link to it. Said, hey, you got to read Omar's article. You've been talking about this for a while. And so I read his article, and it's like the whole Tony Pauline thing. That's, for me, it's just like a whole Tony Pauline thing all over again. Tony Pauline reports that, players aren't on board with McDaniel, kind of what I've been telling you. And then here, Omar goes into it all, and he quotes a player and everything, talking about, how soft they are and all that kind of stuff, and how the atmosphere is in that locker room, and how people aren't really held accountable. And in the end, that's why Jalen wants out. That's why others left when they can go. That's the part of the article that was kind of left out, that some of the guys that left were dying to leave. You know what I mean? They had enough of the way McDaniel mismanages the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And so it was refreshing to see, and more of the media, needs to go after the guy that actually makes all the mistakes during the week and on game day constantly, and can't handle a roster. And it's the reason why I'm I've given up on the guy, and I don't really have much hope for this season. Would love to be proven wrong. Would love to see him win 12 games in a playoff game at least. Would really love a Super Bowl, but beggars can't be choosy. Just give me one playoff win for now, because you ain't going to get to a Super Bowl if you can't win one playoff game. So, I would love that. That would make me happier than owning Bitcoin, put it that way. That's pretty happy too. And so just, it was good to see. I give Omar credit for the quotes of the player and everything else. And it's about time that people dug deeper. And by the way, this happened last time with Omar. I couldn't tell him, and I couldn't tell any of you, if you guys remember a few years back, that, Flo didn't want Tua. And I kept telling everybody Flo didn't want Tua. He was fighting them on draft day, this and that. And then, but I couldn't say who it was. And to Omar's credit, he found out it was, Jordan Love that he wanted. And so just one of those things that it's just, I'm glad that more and more people, are actually unearthing, like Tony Pauline, like Omar Kelly, are unearthing the things that we've been talking about on the show for a while. Plenty of people. Have I not been telling you for like almost a year now that people in that building have lost faith in the guy? They're afraid of getting fired. They're afraid because they just don't see the guy getting it done. And it's, and I'm glad that the Tony Paulines and the Omar Kellys are, exposing this a little bit more, because that's the real problem. And that's why I keep telling you that maybe I think what's going on is they realized this offseason they made a mistake extending McDaniel, which I don't know why they extended him, which made no sense. Just like the Tyreek guaranteeing him money made no sense whatsoever. These are things that, I can agree with a lot of the stuff they've done on the personnel side. These are certain things that I cannot agree with. I think they were terrible decisions. I can't say anything else about them. And now I think they realized, owner, front office, president, everybody. So yeah, McDaniel's not the guy. And then the defections, then the Ramsey stuff and all that, but they gave him the contract already. So they can't fire him right now. So they're going to give him a chance to redeem himself. And I don't think I don't think they go a long time. And by week 7, 10, something like that, if he doesn't have a good record, if things are stinking it out, I can see them going to Weaver like we've talked about before. I can see them doing that. And that's the best thing that they can do, because since they're not a sexy club anymore, they haven't been forever, they're never going to get the best candidate. Okay? Look at our results. We end up with Gase, the late Sperano. We end up with Philbin. We don't end up with the best candidates. And as things become more of a disaster, and as Ross gets older, it doesn't become more attractive to come work here. So if you have a better situation for the top candidates, they're going to take it instead of come here. Okay? Those are the facts. That's why Weaver might be the best you can get. In fact, Weaver, I don't even know, bro, the vibe, the smell of it, the feel of it, he just feels better than any of the other guys we've had here for years. You know what I'm saying? And I think they feel that too. And so the way you lock him in is by hiring him in the middle of the season. Locking him up, and then hopefully he finishes strong, and then you give him an extension and take care of him, and then that's it. And that way you don't have to go through all the BS. But I think that could be in the works. You know what I'm saying? Again, that part, I can tell you, hey, people are not trusting McDaniel. People want to get out of here. People are afraid of getting fired. I know this for a fact. Okay, I don't have this down for a fact. I'm not telling you that this is a fact. I'm just telling you the vibe that looks like the off season they had, that it was very, 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 what would I call it? Neutral. It wasn't an off season of a group of people that were desperate to save their jobs. So then that tells me that the head coach is the one that's on the hot seat, because he's the one getting all the heat. The players, the relationships, this organization, all that kind of stuff. So it tells me that Weaver could be the guy, and we'll see. That part I don't know. Okay. I can tell you for a fact that I knew that, Flo didn't want to, and who he wanted. I knew it all along, and kudos to Omar. There's another huge story that's there that I can't talk about, but time. But, it's just, it's really an interesting dynamic. And the problem that we have in Dolphin Nation is we have been suffering for so long, from coach to coach, decade to decade. And we just want to pull the scab off. And it's like something that some of us see like, bro, this is not going anywhere. I think they see it too now, but they have to go through the process. The bad part is you've got players and everybody and coaches and scouts and front office people and everything that have to go through the whole thing again without really knowing what's coming around the corner. So, just weird, but it's our lives. This is what we are. We're Dolphins fans. So where are we going? Are we going to change? Are we dumping our teams? No. We'll be here. We'll watch. We'll hope for the best, but we're not going to bullshit you here. We're not going to do that. We're not going to lie to you, and we're not going to fill you up with false hope. We don't do the hopium shit. We just don't. I'll do it with the Panthers when it's legit. People were panicking, right? Did I panic at any time with the Panthers? No. There's no, the only time to panic with the Panthers is when they're actually like losing. They're down 3-1 and the next game they're down 3-0 in the second period. Okay, we got to panic now. That's what I'm talking about, but never flinched 1 second. Why? Because they show it to us. The big three used to do the same thing, dude. Even when they would fall behind 15, 20 points, did you really lose confidence? No. You were like, they'll turn it on. And they did. And they would turn it on and win, until they couldn't against a team like San Antonio that played perfect basketball in 2014. Damn, that was some of the most perfect basketball I have ever seen in my life. It reminded me a lot of the Celtics in the 80s, the Bird Celtics. They were such an intelligent squad that they could move the ball across the court and rarely touch the floor. It was a thing of beauty, the intelligence that all those players had, between Bird and McHale and Dennis Johnson. Those three guys were just effing ridiculous, as conduits to the entire offense and obviously scoring themselves. And the Spurs had that magic that they were so good and so smart that they could move the ball effortlessly, and there was a flow to their game. It was really, really impressive. Really impressive. Painful, but really impressive. Corso, good morning, Vietnam. Thank you for the super chat, sir. Appreciate you. Juan Mendoza says, Big O, I hope delusional Heat fans are happy with pointless playoff berth with Bam and Hero as our stars. We lost a chance at the number one pick. At least the Panthers and Bitcoin don't let us down. Yeah. Those are the two teams we can count on right now, Panthers and Bitcoin. That's for sure. Well, it's Panthers for all of us as sports fans. Some of you, unfortunately, you're not on this team, so you're not benefiting from it. But it's all right. We warned you. We gave you as much positive information over the last 6 years. If I didn't reach you in 6 years, You're pretty dense. I'm just saying. Anyway, yeah. The Miami Heat is unfortunately in a stage where the culture is their foundation and the culture is also their detriment. That's what's going on. And when you mismanage, which is, again, I'm starting to see more people going after what's going really on, what I've been talking about for a while now. This is a 10-year run of constant bad decisions in the front office. Your culture, you bring Whiteside. Well, okay, see, you mismanage your culture. He doesn't fit your culture, yet you're putting the square peg in the round hole, and then you give him a big contract. Then you go with Dion Waiters, who needs surgery on his foot, and you give him a contract, and he's never been a consistent player. Why wouldn't you wait for him to have the surgery, give him a 1-year deal, and say, here's a couple bucks so you can hang in there, and if you come back and you play the way you played, then we'll talk about an extension. No, you went on 27 games because your culture, you think you can make anybody a star. Detriment. Culture's good. Culture's right. I love their culture. I love what Pat Riley has created. But he has to know when to turn it on and turn it off. He has to know when to use it and when he can't use it. The Butler stuff, he doesn't have to apologize. Butler's a fucking lazy ass piece of crap that was playing. Did you watch him last night? He coasted. Last night. That was right there. Kick, push, and coast. That was it right there. There was a doo-wop band back in the day, the Coasters. I'm sure Jimmy Butler, somehow or another, his dad must have been part of it. But your culture is part of your problem. Because your culture, you sat there on the table and you talked up Tyler Hero, and you keep talking up Tyler Hero for years now. You keep trying to think that your culture is going to make that guy into a star, and it's not. Bam Adebayo, you want him to marry your daughter. You don't want him to be anywhere near what is called your franchise player, one of your top players. He's not that guy. Your culture has misled you. Your culture says you can turn to LeBron and say, we've got Bob and Danny Granger for you, and Shabazz Napier, come back to us. Your delusional culture that you think where you're at and where reality is at. You say you have culture, then why did you allow Jimmy Butler to play poker with his agent in the locker room and have roughshod of the locker room and do whatever and step all over you? I thought you had culture. I thought you should have eliminated that from the get-go. And then you allow him to bring Kyle Lowry. Did you think your culture was going to make Kyle Lowry useful? I'm confused. How is the culture implemented? How is the culture used? Riley says, I'm proud of it. Really? The last 10 years, you proud of it? You're proud of becoming a second-rate franchise now? You're lucky because you have a world-class coach that makes everything chicken salad when it's really chicken shit. You gave him a bunch of scumbags, and he went 31-10. You give him a weak number 2 Robin, and he gets you to the finals twice and the Eastern Conference Finals 3 times. The Duncan Robinson Golden Slipper, it burned out. How long do you want it to last? The prince becomes a frog at one point. But no, your culture is going to make him an all-star shooter every single year. And maybe a defender. Not. It's a misplaced word, culture, right now with the Miami Heat. I don't think they really know how to use it at this point in time. It's a really good talking piece, but it's not effective because it's not being used properly. And so your culture, when you should have been trading away Hero, like I said, halfway through the year, right? They're not, no hindsight. There's no hindsight here, right, Sean? Did I not say if he's healthy by halfway of the year, by the trade deadline? No, but your culture thinks that you can elevate shit talent to stars. And suckers in the Heat Nation buy it because you guys have gotten, some of you, a lot of you, have become delusional Heat fans and you really don't see what's going on. And that's culture blinding you. So your culture, you keep Tyler, you end up getting in and you lose the spot that wins the number 1 overall spot. Because you're dying to get into the play-in. I get it. It's so important to your culture to win. To win what, dude? I remember when you were establishing it, I was there, Pat Riley. I was at the press conference on that boat, and you had a dream of a parade on Biscayne Boulevard. And I'm sitting there eating shrimp and salmon and having the greatest press conference meal I had ever had in my life. They never did it on that boat again. Anyway, Mickey, come on, bro. Press conferences should all be on a boat. You got plenty of food to spare. Anyway, I'm just saying, it was a different standard, remember, I've tweeted out, go look at my timeline. Hey, remember when the Heat had real stars? Like these guys, Pat Riley sits there and they want to win with Bam and Tyler for the last few years. And we used to win with Zoe and Timmy and Shaq and the big three. It's just like what happened? What happened, dude? What happened? We used to have Hall of Famers coming off the bench like Ray Allen. That's how we played the game, Oh, Zoe goes to, okay, let's go pick up Mason. It's like, I'd rather have Anthony Mason than anybody on this goddamn team. Okay? Those of you that are young, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but all of you that are old enough, Anthony Mason has bigger balls, bigger character, and tougher than anybody on that damn team right now, including Bam. Your culture needs a lot of fine-tuning. Your culture needs to go back to the garage, to the garage. You need to go talk to the mechanic. Spark plugs, oil change, air filters. Your culture is all stuffed up, bro. It's just a word now. That's all it is. It's a bunch of fluff, a bunch of hot air. Come on, man. The level of talent for the Miami Heat has gone just rocketing down like the dollar. Put it that way. That thing that some of you still carry in your pockets that's lost over 98% of its value? Yeah. That's the Miami Heat, dude. Their culture is not worth what it used to be worth. The level of talent is not what it used to be, not even close. When you think about those Zoe and Timmy teams and who used to come off the bench, way better than what you got here. Remember how I talked for years how Shula's backup quarterbacks, Earl Morrall and Don Strock, are better than all the quarterbacks we've had post Marino to Tua. Everybody in between, we'd all take Don Strock and Earl Morrall. Okay? Everybody in between. Throw Pennington in there too. I'll take Don Strock over Pennington every day of the week and twice on Sundays, and I'll take Earl Morrall every day of the week and twice on Sundays over Chad Pennington. So it's the same thing with the Heat. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Who's the host that's saying that the Miami Heat are turning into the Miami Dolphins? Oh, that's right. I think on the show we said, like, you know, the 04 to 14 is like the 70s, and now 15 to now is like the 80s, right? You got to a couple championships, but just like 82 and 85, yeah, so what, you got there, but you weren't shit. You didn't belong there. And it proved it. Both teams were better than you and embarrassed you. Same thing. Somebody's saying that. So what I'm trying to tell you is every decade for the Dolphins has gotten worse. Is that what's happening now for the Heat? Because they're hanging on to culture. Culture. What culture, dude? The culture of being a play-in team? That's your fucking culture? So if Heat writers want to sell you the bullshit that Tyler Hero's got a chance to be this, or Bam's got a chance to be that, or they've got a chance because if they get Durant now, oh my God, are you hanging on like Durant is? Now we got idiots in the Heat Nation, maybe in the front office. No, let's go after Kevin Durant, which he really isn't going to come here anyway. But you're not winning shit with Kevin Durant, Bam, and Tyler. How delusional are you? Oh, wait, well, our culture will turn Zion Williamson around. Is that what we're going to do next? You know, it's time for the people in the Miami Heat front office and ownership group to sit down and have a nice ass, truthful conversation and look in the mirror and really understand who the hell their mediocre asses are. Okay? So what happened yesterday in the lottery, the culture is, your foundation. It's also your detriment. Because you now do not see, culture stays with time, but you must change. You can have the same work ethic, but you need to adapt because things will change. So your culture must have, a pivot to it. And they don't really have a pivot to it. They're so stale with it, they don't really know how to, when they adjust, they allow them to step all over, and that's just not the way it goes. And then this is what's happened to you now. So now you allow the Whitesides in the world inside, you allow the Jimmy Butlers to step all over you because you're a desperate franchise now to win. You're so desperate, oh no, we'll go get lazy fat ass Zion Williamson and try to convert him now. You've become that franchise that's desperately looking, instead of you being the franchise that used to be the elite, and the elite was just coming to you. Those days are gone because your culture is gone. And your culture now doesn't mean shit in the big picture. I keep telling you guys, this whole thing of Riley throwing the rings and all that stuff, that shit is over, bro. Stop it with that. These kids don't give a shit. Nobody cares. Most of them don't even know who the hell Pat Riley is. They have to go Google his ass. We're way past that, dude. We're Riley. We're way past the fact that now the adults that are having the kids, they don't know enough about Riley anymore. So it's not like it was 20, 30, 40 years ago where there was a foundation and all that, and that connection is gone, dude. That shit is gone. And they don't understand that, and they haven't adjusted. And because they haven't adjusted and the system has adjusted, they don't adjust. You know, Madonna did a beautiful job for many years adjusting in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s and continue to have hits as she got older. The Rolling Stones, they've been around forever. Hack Me Diamonds did well, actually. You know, you got to adjust. In order for you to stay relevant, have you heard Billy Idol's new album? He's got a hit out of it, all that. He stays relevant. His album is actually really good, by the way. Really, really good. You got to listen to it. I would say the first 6 songs are awesome. And then it kind of, you know, peters out a little bit after that. But, you know, hey, dude. But my point is, you got to adjust with the times. Or if not, you get left behind. And that's what's happened to the Heat. They haven't adjusted. There's a way of staying still disciplined and still being who you are, but at the same time adjusting. And one of the things that I've kept telling you over and over again that I feel I'm right and they are way wrong, and I keep getting proven over. And now they're so screwed at this point. They're way behind me. But remember, as I said, the Butler thing after the last run of the championship, remember, I was grateful of those runs, but I did not buy into those runs like, oh my God, we're the second coming. No, it was flukish. And I knew it was flukish, and I said it was flukish, and I kept it. And that's why I said, trade him now. And of course, I'm the evil guy. I'm the asshole. I'm good with that, dude. I'm fine being the bad guy. Okay, I'm fine being the bad guy now that, oh my God, some guy yesterday, well, your Dolphin content is just bad now. And I go, yeah, I know, bro, because, you know, it's not the echo chamber you want. It's not me blowing smoke up your ass and telling you it's going to be a great year. No, I know. I'm telling you it's going to be a bad year, and you don't want to hear that. But this has to change. And they have to blow things up. They had a chance to trade Jimmy and get a bunch of picks. They had a chance to try to trade Hero at the middle of the season. By the end of the year, you already have players on the other side in the league saying, oh, no, all we have to do is attack Tyler because he sucks. He can't play defense, which, again, kills his value. But he stayed healthy, which should have been a sign. Bro, you should have traded him halfway through the season. And trade Bam, too, now. Trade both of them. Get as many picks as possible. It is time to completely reset. And, again, culture getting in your way. Mickey Arison. I can't tear the team down. Nobody will then show up. I've got to make my money. Bro, you'll make your money. You got your TV contract. So if the building's half empty because your team sucks, you're doing what's best for the team long term. But no, let me fool people so we're just good enough. We'll get Durant and we'll hype it up and people will buy and they'll buy the suites and all that. And we'll just keep, you know, teasing you that we're just good enough to barely get in, but not good enough to make a real run, because you're not making a real run with Durant and Bam and Tyler. Please, dude. How many times are you going to try and convince yourselves that those guys are the answer? So you have a culture. It's been your foundation. It's been your detriment. Fix it. Figure it out. It's more embarrassing to be this than to actually purposely lose and tear it completely down. There's a plan there, at least. What's the plan here? Stay mediocre? That's what's going on. Okay? Don't know if people will tell you or they'll be honest, but that's what's going on. And again, I'm not saying to fire Riley or anything like that. I'm just saying y'all need to go look in the mirror. Okay? You folks on Biscayne Boulevard, you all need an intervention with yourselves. Owner, front office, okay? And what you're doing to Spo is a freaking crime. We've got the best coach on the planet, and we give him dog shit every year. Dog shit every year, problems, drama, bullshit, and he has to then go figure it out. You don't give him real professionals, real studs. You just give him a bunch of clay, and he's got to try to mold it every year into something. It's disgusting. It really is. I'm tired of it, and I keep talking about it. So, sorry if this is not the echo chamber you're looking for the Miami Dolphins or the Miami Heat. I call reality. I don't, this is not about, bro, there's plenty of fan sites, plenty of those kind of places. They got to live off of this and they got to worry about, I don't worry about this, bro. I don't worry about pissing you off. And if you don't want to watch because you can't handle the truth, whatever, dude. Still love you, but enjoy your life. Greg Armstrong, you obviously don't know shit about what's going on with the Dolphins. I never do because I'm never right. Lisa Rose is in the house. Jake from Pallettown, Frankie Fresco, Skylar Tipton, Nico Jones. The Heat had the Mavericks pick, which is now the number 1 overall. Yes, we know Nico. Yes. Just talked about it. No, tariffed the Rolling Stones. The Pat Riley rings on the table was now 15 years ago. Yep. Yeah, it's over already. I have an intervention with myself every night. Me too, I would say. That sounds about right. Ty in the Bronx, I see. Big Johnson, thank you all. Don't forget, you can make a donation to the show. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. And we always appreciate that. Chain Link and Solana too. And we now know it is final. It figures it is Washington, November 16th against the Commanders, Sunday at 8:30 a.m. All right. Sean and I hope to be in Madrid doing our pre and post game show from a Dolphins bar. Now that we know the date, we can start to plan and you can help us get there. There's the QR code. You can make the donation and help us get to it. We want to do our show. There's a Dolphins bar there in Madrid. We want to do it all week long there and do our pre and post. This isn't going to be a great season, but this might be one of the games that could be really fun. And hopefully the Dolphins put up a nice fight there in Madrid and put together a nice performance. We'll be there all week. Obviously, we'll break any news that goes on there. And, of course, we will do our pre- and post-game show from there, which should be a lot of fun. November 16th against the Commanders at 8:30 a.m. And if it's typical, then, of course, Sean and I will start the pregame show at 6:30 a.m., which, what is it over there? What are they, like 5 hours ahead of us, Sean, or some shit like that? Right? Is that, 8:30, 5 hours is 1:30. So that kind of makes sense. Or is it 4 hours, 12:30? Because if it starts at 8:30, I'm figuring it's like a midday thing. I don't even know. How many hours is Spain ahead of us?
Looks like they're 6 hours ahead of us.
Oh, so 2:30.
Okay. Put time in Spain right now, put 4:43 p.m.
Okay. All right. So it's 2:30 over there when it goes. Okay. All right. So that means we actually get to sleep in more than normal. Well, it depends on where we're staying. If we're close to the bar. Okay. So hopefully you guys got to help us get there. But yeah, we'll hopefully the sponsors will also help us get there too, and make it happen and have some fun. Sean and I, we traveled a lot last year, and this year we said like, nah, we're not going to do that, bro. We're not going to do a bunch of traveling. So this time, this is the one game we want to go to. So one game because it's cool. It's Madrid plus Bimbaco Al Suaray. So that's where my people are from the mountains, is what I'm told. I should actually try to look up my history exactly in Spain, because that's where it is. So I should try to see if I can track that shit down. I think there's a way of doing that, right? I think they've got those sites that can help you track down your bloodlines and things like that. Oscar Rojas is smashing it. Thank you. Got 102 watching, only 54 likes. So we'd appreciate it if you can smash the like button and get it going. The Dolphins signed cornerback Kendall Sheffield. We'll see if they should add another veteran cornerback or two. So they've added one. I would imagine they might add another one. We got the Omar article we talked about, which you guys should check it out on the Miami Herald. I'm glad that more people are exposing that mess. We got the Dolphins and the Commanders, which is good stuff. What else do we have? We got David Furones, by the way, joining us at the top of the hour. We have amazing news for Bitcoin people. Okay? If you're a Bitcoiner, it's amazing news and it's bad news. And then there's a funny part to it. Okay? U.S. inflation falls to 2.3%, which is really good. Now, that might be all because of the tariffs. People loaded up before the tariffs were coming, and, sales are going through. And so maybe all that stuff from the tariffs and all that lags. And so maybe it affects us down the line. Hopefully not. But that's really good news overall. Dubai is accepting Bitcoin and crypto for payments for government services, which is huge. UBS, which is one of the wirehouses, they say their rich clients are now buying Bitcoin and crypto. If you look at the on-chain stuff that's going on now, it's really high-end people buying Bitcoin or long-term Bitcoin holders. Short-term Bitcoin holders are actually selling a lot right now, which is sad. And now here comes the really, really good news and the really, really bad news. Senator Rand Paul, Republican, okay, he was interviewed yesterday coming out of the Capitol and asked about the new GOP budget bill that's coming out that they're going to vote on. And it calls, okay, for raising the debt ceiling a record $5 trillion. Sean, I'm just, just want to throw it out there. We said that George Bush did $6 trillion in 8 years, correct? And then Obama beat it with $8 trillion in 8 years, correct? And then Trump beat it with 7.8 trillion, almost 8 trillion in 4 years, correct? And then Biden beat that 4 years, 8.2 trillion, correct? Do you remember the number I said that was going to go next for the next president? Whoever it was, even before they were elected, it didn't matter who it was because they are going to do it no matter who. I don't play either side. I said this prediction before anyone was elected. Do you remember the number I gave out there, Sean?
I do not, but I want to say, I think you said it was going to double possibly.
No, not to 16. No, I did not say.
No, I didn't know. I don't remember.
Is anybody remember the number I constantly gave to the next president without an R or a D next to it? Because it doesn't matter if it's an R or a D, they beat each other. Anybody remember? Anybody? Bueller, 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 Bueller. Anybody? Come on. Come on. Don't fail me. You guys can even take a guess and you'll get it. All right. It was, go ahead. Go ahead.
10?
Yeah. Brian got it, and so did SM98. 10 trillion, not million. I wish it was million. That would be great. That means Trumpy did a really good job, an amazing job. 10 trillion. Biden raised the debt ceiling 3 times in his run, and to get to 8.2 trillion. Trump did it 4 times to get to 7.8 trillion. This is his first time to raise the debt ceiling. And we still have got 3.5 years left. Okay. 3 3/4 left. Okay. $5 trillion, which is terrible for our dollar because, of course, we're injecting 5 trillion more out there, which will kill more of the value of our dollar. Okay. Plus, if you listen to the interview, it's on my Twitter feed. Rand Paul talks about that they're also going to borrow another 5 trillion. On top of that, coming up after that. So this is terrible for our dollar and great for Bitcoin because it's going to send Bitcoin to kingdom come. Like kingdom come. It's going to be ridiculous. Somebody asked me this morning, like, why don't they, since they're going to print so much, because I put out that Rand Paul thing, and it's a Republican saying it, a conservative Republican talking about this. And he's like depressed. He's like, man, I can't believe conservative Republicans are going to vote for this because they're, it's not, normally the conservative Republicans are the ones mostly against all that kind of stuff. Not regular Republicans, not Dems. They all love to spend, but they're on board now. So one guy goes to me, how come we can't have that printer at home? I go, you do. Buy Bitcoin. Because by them printing so much money and devaluing our dollar more and more every cycle, they pump Bitcoin from 8 digits under a penny to now over $100,000. So they actually are printing for you while they devalue the ruble, the euro, the yen, the dollar, the mark, whatever it is, whatever currency in the world, they're all getting devalued. Okay. The lira, you name it, the peso, while they're all getting devalued, there's only one that's going up. So don't play the politics. I keep telling you that. You'll lose every single time. They play for themselves and they print and kill all of us. Doesn't matter what side it is. I told you that they're going to print 10 trillion. Okay. In a few years, when it's all said and done, let's see if they end up printing even more than 10 trillion in the 4 years, because they're going for 5 now. It's already halfway, and we're not even in the first complete year. Okay. So much for budget cuts, huh? How those Doge savings working out? Buy Bitcoin, folks. Protect yourselves. I'm not a financial advisor by any stretch. You do what you want. But I can only tell you what I'm seeing, and it ain't good, man. It ain't good. The Big Cheese. I love talking about the Big Cheese. My daughter ate at the Big Cheese yesterday. She was there at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue. All the dishes, by the way, what I love is, too, you order like a certain dish and you say, well, I want tomato sauce. Wait, I want Alfredo sauce. I want pink sauce. I want meat sauce. You can mix it up. The menu is endless. The pies are delicious. Oh, the garlic rolls are to die for. They've got desserts. It's an institution. They've been around for over 40 years. And if you're a Canes fan, not only are you going to get great food and great service and the pastas delivered from Italy and it's cooked fresh daily and all that good stuff, but then the walls, the memories. You're going to want to go back and back because it's hard to see everything in one shot because there's so much on the walls. It's impressive. It'll blow you away. So 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, 305-662-6855. And by the way, if your company, your school, your corporation, whatever, you're having a get-together or party, they do the party platters too, and you can order that also. They can deliver it. You can pick it up. 305-662-6855, BigCheeseMiami.com. Justice Maldonado, Big O is always right about the Dolphins, and I wish he wasn't, LOL, but he's always right about them. Tells you how it is. And you watch long enough, you're going to see it, and it's painful, and you'll react like this, like Greg Armstrong, like these weak little bitches. You obviously don't know shit about what's going on with the Dolphins. Don't say bad things about my Dolphins. I'm too sensitive. I can't handle it. Oh, you're going to disappoint me. Oh, man. You could tell O is married to a teacher. He loves pop quizzes. There you go. But I used to fail him all the time. That's the difference, bro. So that's a problem with me. I just didn't do well with those pop quizzes. I didn't have the cheat sheet at that moment. What the hell, dude? That's just wrong on every level. Okay? If I know the test is coming, then I got the cheat sheet ready. I'm planning and all that. But pop quizzes, I think they're communist. Okay? Commie pinko crap. Surprising me with a pop quiz. How dare you? Iberia has a nonstop flight from Miami to Madrid under $600 per person. Really? Wow. I'm going to check that out. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Oh. Let's see. What else do we have? I was wrong, by the way. Andor is actually pretty good. Still not Star Wars to me, but it's good show overall. I'm watching the first season now. Okay, so I'm in the process of it. I'm in the first few episodes. And it's all right so far. It's not I hope it picks up, but so far, like, it's all right. We'll see. Big O, long time no see. Hope you're well. Dolphins winning the Super Bowl this year when we all think they will suck. The weathermen. Hopefully you don't predict football like the weather because you'll be fired soon. Juan Mendoza, Big O, as someone who has his grandfather and uncle living in Madrid and visits them every other year, Iberia is such a bad airline with poor service. Okay. All right. So do I go American or something? How bad is Iberia? Is Iberia like what's that Frontier? Right? Because Frontier is known to be like the worst airline in the business. Frontier is the one that ends up on social media everywhere. Oh, man, too funny. By the way, we love talking about the folks at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. They're always getting it done, and they've been doing it for a long time. They've been partnered with us for 14 years, folks, and you can get electrified right now. Listen, electric cars are on the rise. Electric car sales are up 11% in the country. The ZDX, they have a bunch of them, and they still have a few left from 2024. So we're talking about pre-tariff, okay? Take advantage, great deals. You can get over 300 miles to the full charge. And by the way, the charger, you have multiple options, mobile one you can install at home, all that kind of stuff. Check it out. They've got 0% financing for 72 months, which is an amazing deal. So get down there. Larry Schlossberg, Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, some great people out there. But Larry's been doing it for a long time. And by the way, if you own or lease a vehicle, our service center is second to none. Mike Chan and Jordan Ferber, they do outstanding work. The selection is crazy. The pre-owned vehicles, too. They've got the lot is just always overflowing. People always want Acuras, and they've always got also the trade-ins there. So take advantage. At 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Finest dealership in the business, baby. It is Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. No better Acura dealership out there, baby. The Dark Knight has to be in consideration when talking about best sequels. Okay. American has a nonstop to Madrid from Miami as well. All right. We shall see what we shall see. All right, let's go. Let's start off hour number 2 with the one and only David Furones.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt and Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt and Rayom can help. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
All rise, football fans, as the Welt and Rayom Miami Dolphins report with David Furones is in session.
Welt and Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They are committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. Here's Miami Dolphins insider David Furones.
All right. There he is, ready to go. How you feeling, my man? You feeling good?
I'm feeling good. I know when I will be going to Madrid, España, and who the Dolphins will be playing, Washington Commanders. So that's going to be a fun one. Jaden Daniels against the Dolphins. I actually saw him light up the Dolphins at that joint practice last year. That was the first glimpse of what we would ultimately see in the regular season because he had a phenomenal rookie year. But that'll be a fun one.
You know what? The secondary is so much better now. You know, Jaden doesn't stand a chance.
Incredible, right? Yeah. He wasn't going against Jalen Ramsey in that practice. of course, and he won't be going against Jalen Ramsey in Spain either because the Dolphins are bound to trade him. And Kendall Fuller, who was a Washington Commander in 2023 and before then, who actually, when the Dolphins played the Commanders December that year, remember that 45-15 drubbing against the Commanders? Tyreek Hill was burning Kendall Fuller deep, and then the Dolphins added him. They don't even have him either this year. So we'll see. We still don't know who the Dolphins' starting corners are going to be.
Yeah, it's a really screwed up situation, dude. What's going on? Unfortunately, it's hard to even imagine a positive season, to be quite honest. Watching the talent level go down the last couple of years, and the coach not elevate himself. And kudos to Omar, because a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about on this show for a while now, there's not enough of that out there in public. What'd you think of Omar Kelly's column on the McDaniel situation and the stuff that goes on behind the scenes?
Yeah, I mean, on point. You know, I've worked with Omar for so long, and he took me under his wing when I started on the Dolphins beat, and then even before then, when I joined the Sun Sentinel, going back to being a high school sports writer, and obviously well connected. Omar is so. Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it on this program. It's obviously difficult to see this season going in a positive direction. The talent is less, and it's going to take Mike McDaniel to turn a corner. Can he do that? That would be the $1 million question. He
has to become Spo. He has to become the Spo of football right away, and he's never even been close, to something like that. And that's where it's, I was glad that Tony Pauline came out with his report, and now Omar, because there's a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about here on the show that it's not a good atmosphere. And this is why I've also talked about this offseason. This offseason was not an offseason that you're desperate to save your job. And I keep wondering, they realize that they screwed up by extending this guy, but they're going to let him see if he can sink or swim. And I don't think there's going to be a long leash for Mike McDaniel this season. I think you tell me, let's talk about this. I believe there will be a short leash on Mike McDaniel this season, knowing that you have what could be the best possible candidate that you could ever have for a head coach here for this franchise in a while in Weaver. To me, that guy looks like a real head coach and a guy that can connect with men and get the respect out of them. And to me, if McDaniel screws up at any point, I don't want to go all the way to the offseason and say, oh, now let's start a coaching search. Nah, dude, I'd rather get his ass in as the interim and see if he can do a good job from there on out and then lock him in, because I don't know if I can get a better candidate than Weaver, to be quite honest. And I think that's what this season has kind of turned into. All right, Mike, if you could get it done, great. If you can't, we got to move on to plan B right now. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and you see stories of an interim head coach taking over midseason, and then he ends up retaining the job later on. I think wasn't Antonio Pierce like that when he got the job, and then obviously then they moved on from him again. And I know there's other examples, but yeah, I mean, Weaver's a guy who's already been interviewed by multiple teams over multiple seasons for head coaching vacancies. So he's kind of on that tier of just on the doorstep of a head coaching job. And also give Mike McDaniel credit. That's a McDaniel hire, as he also had Vic Fangio the year before. But then you also start to add up. But boy, you have these great defensive coordinators that have come through, and you still haven't really gotten to the next step in taking this Dolphins franchise to even a playoff victory, which has been the goal over these recent seasons. And I also think Weaver, if it's a situation where after this next season, you're again not really seeing it like the Dolphins have a chance to be a win now contender in 2026. Weaver's also a good head coach to have to sort of bring on a young core and build them up as you start to bring a new core together. As you start to, we're going to move on from Jalen Ramsey now this offseason if you're the Dolphins. Tyreek Hill, you should. We've talked about how you should have maybe kept your outs on him previously, but it's not going to be very long where he remains a Miami Dolphin down the road. So I think Weaver would be a great developer of men, and he'll be a head coach one day. And then if this season goes awry with Mike McDaniel's Dolphins, then it might be here.
Yep. I love this. I love this one, and he's screwing around. Justin goes, best coach in the house. I thought we got rid of Danny Crossman. That is fantastic. That's a good one. And I like this one with George. See, the problem with George is he's one of those weak Dolphin fans. He goes, Big O, you selling that the Dolphins are going to suck this year, and I agree with you. But I don't agree with paying you on a vacation for Spain because that game is fun to cover. That's funny. My brother, do you want me to lie to you and bullshit that it's going to be a fantastic season, so please send me to Spain? No, dude, I'm not. That's not who I am. And by the way, what'd you think I did last year traveling to Indianapolis and Buffalo and Los Angeles and Seattle? What's the difference, dude? They lost and they suck anyway. In most of those spots. I think we won the LA one, right?
Yeah.
That's it, right? We
lost. Yeah,
lost.
So you were there for that one. Yeah, lost in Seattle.
We lost Seattle. We lost Buffalo, dude.
Buffalo. Yeah. Yep.
What's the difference? What's the difference, George? Again, bro, if you want people to blow smoke up your ass, go to another platform, go read somebody else, go somewhere else, dude. I don't blow smoke up anybody's ass, dude. I'm brutally honest. Okay, the phony would be the guy that tries to sell you, oh my God, this is going to be a great season, and we're so excited. We got to be in Spain because we're going to make a playoff run. Bro, come on, dude. Is that what you want, George? Is that what you want? You know what I'm saying? It's just like you can't win for being honest. You know what I'm saying? You can never win. Everybody wants to just hear bullshit because they want to go in some echo chamber, and that if they're not in the echo chamber they want, they're unhappy. It's amazing, some of you out there, dude.
Well, for some fans, you see, because right now, what's today's date? May 13th.
Yes.
So now we are more than 4 months removed from the last Dolphins loss, and we are 4 months away from the first potential Dolphins loss of the next regular season. So right now it's that sweet spot in between where you've forgotten about last season, and next season is still too far away to really like face your fears, face the reality. So that's kind of like optimist prime right here.
I get it. No,
right now it's the prime of optimist season.
I've been doing this for 35 years. The guy like George is the guy that's so full of shit. He doesn't make a donation to the show. He doesn't buy a shirt. He doesn't go to Caneswear and say, hey, I heard it on Big O show. He doesn't go buy an Acura or lease it or Subaru or whatever. He doesn't do any of that shit. The guys that talk about this are the guys that do the least to support the show. Those guys right there. That's it right there. The Georges of the world. He probably didn't even hit the like button. Okay? That's the phony bastards, people like that. But hey, bro, listen, we're not here to bullshit you, man. We're just not here to bullshit you. It's not fun to bullshit people and lie to them about what's coming and what's happening. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta be objective, tell it how it is.
Exactly, dude. And if it hurts, it hurts. I had people worried about the Panthers. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm not worried at all. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. And there you go. You can be positive about things that you can see that are positive, but the Dolphins aren't positive right now. The Heat, oh my God, come on, bro. Is that not a front office that's lost its way? Huh? Is that? You don't think so?
Let's see what they do this summer, because they could always turn it around very quickly. If Riley lands his Wales, you know, but I feel you. Yes, it's been a minute. It's been a while.
Yeah. It's Riley lands his Wales. Now we're writing fiction novels. Now those Those days are gone, bro. Inter Miami, they're getting old. They look like they're getting run off the pitch. What do you want me to do? The Marlins are cheap. The Marlins are cheap. They're never going to win. The Panthers are the only organization, top to bottom. They do everything right now. Right now, they're where the Heat was for a long, long time.
Yeah. That is correctly placed optimism. That is appropriately placed optimism in the Panthers, because you see it. They've done it at the highest level, won the Stanley Cup, went to the Stanley Cup the year before that, and everyone else.
They can actually recruit stars.
Yeah.
Real stars.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Still adding like Marchand this year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Constantly. It's, there's a difference, dude. We just call it like we see it, dude. That's all. If you can, the guys like George that can't handle it, what can I tell you phony bastards out there?
The Dolphins had a hot stretch of adding the stars, but then once that didn't come to fruition with deep playoff runs, and then you had last season falling out of the playoffs, then that momentum starts to fade away, and then I feel like that's what we're seeing now. And then it would take an upstart surprise season, which it would be a surprise to get it back going. So
you nailed it, dude. I mean, that's what it is. If they would have had success the last couple of years, you would have had more people wanting to join, more people willing to take less, more people willing to accommodate, more people willing to sacrifice. But unfortunately, the buzz that started just kind of petered and went downhill consistently. And now it's kind of run its course, unfortunately. And that's where we're at right now. I know some of you out there don't want to admit it to yourselves, but that's why to expect McDaniel to not just turn the corner, bro, but to be, we started off this conversation having some fun with the secondary. That's a lot for Weaver to overcome. His front seven's going to have to be absolutely awesome. Plus, they don't have depth. So when they suffer any kind of injuries, which they will, they're not going to have the next guy up that's going to be able to really maintain much. It's going to be one hell of a drop-off because that depth is not there either, too. It's going to be rough, dude. It's going to be tough.
Yeah. With everyone healthy, I do like this front seven because now you added Kenneth Pratt with Zach Sealer, who was already the anchor to that D-line. You have Benito Jones, who's a starter, serviceable there. And then now you do have leeway with the edge rushers now that you have Chop Robinson. And if Bradley Chubb is some semblance of his old self, if Jalen Phillips is some semblance of his old self, then even if one goes down, you still have the other two. But with all three, you have a nice rotation where one guy can come off, grab a breather, come back in so that he can rush at full strength. And I love Jordan Brooks at inside linebacker off the ball. So I really like this front seven. And, the secondary it's going to be tough. Yeah, they might need more help back there, extra DBs. You need the front seven to win their one-on-one battles so that you don't have to blitz so often and leave. Or you can blitz and then make it where it's a shorter clock for the quarterback and have the DBs cover for less time, but then you expose yourself potentially to big plays. So all this is what Anthony Weaver will have to figure out.
Again, I know it's bullshit mini camp. To me, all these mini camps, they're fantastic for one thing. Did anybody get hurt? No? Awesome. That's all I care about in these mini camps, because in the end, all these camps for the next couple months, it's just mental reps for these guys so they can learn the plays and all that. And then when you get to training camp in the preseason, you've run all these plays 1,000 times and you should be prepared. So it's great. For me, I just want to hear after every mini camp, no one got injured. And that to me is a success when you're getting out of camp overall. So let's put the bullshit aside. What impressed you at least out of mini camp? What did you see that at least you said, wow, this is cool about this guy or that guy or whatever?
Yeah, rookie minicamp. So just the rookies. Some of the younger veterans were out there, and actually a tryout player, Kendall Sheffield, the cornerback who has been in the league since 2019. He was just a rookie minicamp invite, even though he's been in the league for several years, and he ended up getting signed afterwards. So good for him. as he's not a starting caliber corner, but another guy, a depth piece who could possibly compete for a roster spot. So he gets his opportunity off of that. But I really like the way that Kenneth Grant and Jonas Savaianaya, the two top picks in the trenches, they're big, massive guys, but you could really see they move well. They actually move well. So, and you can see some of that based on what the scouting reports you read. On if you watch some of the film, you can see it. I mean, everyone talks about that play where Kenneth Grant chased the ball carrier down the field and made the tackle. But you could really, I saw it in front of me on the Dolphins practice field. Like Kenneth Grant, okay, he is moving at that size. He is actually athletic for an interior defensive lineman. So I love to see that.
I like this draft. I actually like for the picks that they had. I think they got themselves an impactful draft. As long as Daniel stays healthy, the pieces they added are exactly what they needed desperately, dude. They needed meat. They needed people that can move other people around, because that's the only way you're going to get better. To me, that's one thing that I do love about this draft. I don't expect the coach to maximize things. I don't expect him to have people prepared like he should and all that other stuff. But if I compartmentalize things and I separate it, I really like what they did in the draft. And even in free agency, I love the big receiver, not only just Daniels, but I love the big receiver. Now, will McDaniel use him? I hope so. But, I thought the offseason, actually, as limited as it was, I thought it had a lot of method to the madness, put it that way.
Sure. And my only gripe about the draft is you went so long in the middle of it without a pick. So I saw a lot of good corners go off the board in the third round and thinking, boy, the Dolphins still had that need at cornerback. And one of these guys, we're going to have to do this test a few years down the road and see if one of the third round picks, or if even like Will Johnson in the second round, if they end up better than what the Dolphins did, which was grab Jonas Savaianaya, who I think will be really good.
Oh, I like him.
Yeah. So he probably will be very good. But then
and Grant's a beast, bro. Grant's a beast.
Yeah. And the Grant pick as well. But now we'll see. They had to trade that third round pick to move up in the second round to get him, and then also getting out of the fourth round altogether. So big gap in the middle. There were some players they probably could have had if it goes another way. So, we'll see if they really missed on a gem in that middle part of the draft. But hopefully Jordan Phillips, too, the fifth round defensive tackle, I like him as possibly a rotational depth piece. We'll see how quickly he can get going. And then corners, hey, not only Jason Marshall, the guy they got in the fifth round, but B.J. Adams, the kid out of UCF, that was a surprise to go undrafted, to be able to claim him as an undrafted free agent. And we know Chris Greer has a history of finding undrafted corners, because that's what he did in finding Storm Duck last year, Kader Kohu a couple years before that, Nick Needham several years ago. So he's had success finding those undrafted cornerbacks. Maybe B.J. Adams is that next one, the kid out of UCF.
And he's done pretty good even with the draft also on top of all of that. Yeah. It's X, it's Minka, the Holland one. I don't know how we are going to label the Holland one, because it was good at the beginning, but then the injuries. Brandon Jones, bro. You let go of Brandon Jones, and he went and all he did here was improve every year. And then he went to Denver and had a really good season, overall. And what was he, like a fourth round pick or something like that?
Third, I think.
Yeah. So, they can obviously everybody looks at Noah, and now we'll see if Cam, but they've hit on a lot of the other ones. So hopefully they can find something in the secondary that Weaver can work with. They're in the draft or in free agency, undrafted or something like that, because they need it, man. And the current young guys that are here, they need to, step up. Kader Kohu and Storm Duck and those kind of guys. Hopefully, one of them locks down one of the spots. That would be really, really nice if that could be the case.
I'll tell you, internally, the Dolphins do seem confident in their plan. Now, it might turn out to be like last year's you guys are more worried about the O-line than we are. So hopefully it doesn't end up that way. But they feel like, okay, maybe Cam Smith can turn a corner, and that's why, and that Storm Duck can take another step, and that they could find something out of one of these guys, along with, you kind of know what you're getting from Kader Kohu now at this point. You still know that you're going to sign another veteran free agent. There are still some guys out there like Rasul Douglas, Jair Alexander, Stephon Gilmore, James Bradbury. I just saw a report from Jeremy Fowler that Asante Samuel Jr. had neck surgery just last month in April, so that's concerning. But he's another one of the available starting caliber free agent corners. But yeah, I mean, the Dolphins seem confident in what they have, and that they can trust maybe some lower drafted, undrafted, not your typical top of the line players in the secondary to go run out there and handle this defense. So we'll see how that plays out.
All right, what do you got going on in the Sentinel, so Dolphins can check you out, my brother?
Yeah, I'll be on schedule watch. So of course now we do have the news of the Spain game, but the big reveal of the NFL schedule tomorrow night. So I'll stay on top of that. And I think today I'm also going to write about Ollie Gordon, the running back drafted in the 6th round. Maybe as a big physical back, he can be someone that can contribute to this Dolphins offense. He'll have to compete against Alexander Madison for those big running back reps, maybe short yardage help, and got to talk to him, got a feel for his personality at rookie mini camp. So I think I'll write that today.
So what is it? Achane, Wright, Ollie, and Madison. Those are your 4 backs?
Right, yeah. 4 backs. And then also they got an undrafted kid, Nate Noel, who was Appalachian State and then finished off in Missouri. He's a Miami Northwestern kid.
Is that the big kid that played at Appalachian State? Is he the big?
No. He's small and shifty. Nate Noel. Yeah. So Ollie Gordon is big though.
No, I know Ollie Gordon is big, but remember that Appalachian State. I don't even remember. He probably already graduated, but a couple of years ago, he pounded the shit out of the Canes, dude.
Oh,
and so he probably graduated. I'm just, because you said Appalachian State, and painfully, I can only remember that guy punishing our team. So it's just crazy shit. So that's going to be a change, because now you're going to have 2 small backs, 2 big backs.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And Jalen Wright kind of it can be physical too. So
who?
You got that Jalen Wright can be physical too.
But he's not considered a big back, whereas he is considered bigger than Achane, obviously.
Yeah.
Ollie and Madison are clearly bigger backs. So my point is, the philosophy has adjusted here, whereas there's bigger backs in the backfield now. And hopefully that means that there's also a change that they're going to use more power running backs too at the same time. I like that, because I got to tell you, last year we talked about it. It bothered me, all the carries they were giving Achane down the stretch, because I'm going, bro, this guy's going to get injured. He's going to wear down. He's not a big back. And he's like one of your best weapons at the moment, maybe your best weapon. Please take care of the kid. And I thought it was very irresponsible, the amount of carries they gave him, and didn't get Wright involved enough. So I think there's a shift. If you're going to have Ollie and Madison making your team, then you're going to have more of an attitude adjustment when it comes to running the football, and maybe running it with a little more power. Thoughts?
Yeah. From your mouth to Mike McDaniel's ears. So hopefully that is what they are planning, and it seems to be the case when you start to construct your roster with a more physical presence in the backfield. So I think that's along the lines of where this team is heading, and realize that they need that presence.
I'm with you there. All right, man. Follow him on Twitter at David Furones _ and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. David, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Have a great week.
You got it. Welton Rayom, proud sponsors of this program. These are the people that keep us going. Welton Rayom, Jeff Walton, Daniel Rayom. They do great work. They've done great work for a lot of you guys out there. As always, 954-966-4646. bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. I'm telling you, go to the website, wrflalaw.com. The consultation is free. So if something happened to you and you don't know if you have a case, even if it happened a week ago, a month ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, statute of limitations may not have expired. So call, let the professionals decide. Plus, if anything, folks, you want to hire the right lawyers, because nowadays the new laws that our governor put in place, they favor the insurance companies, not us. So make sure you have the right lawyers. Jeff Welt and Daniel Rayom. Brother, if we had tackles like this, our quarterbacks would never get sacked. 954-966-4646.
This has been another session of the Welton Rayom Miami Dolphins Report with David Furones. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. If you need custom printing and embroidery, your company, your corporation, school, whatever it is, uniforms, hats, shirts, whatever, man, you're going on a field trip and you want all the kids to have the same shirt, or all the adults to have the same shirt so you're easy to find. They can do it all for you. They've done that actually several times already. I got to mention it because Alan tells me all the time, make sure you mention the field trip and the picnics and all that, because people have called for that. And so, your picnic, your company, your corporation is doing a get together and you all want to wear the same shirts. You're going somewhere and all that kind of stuff. 3A Graphics can do all of that for you. You do all of that by the mail, by Zoom calls, and they can just ship it right to you and all that. 786-618-1443. Custom printing and embroidery. Call my guy, Alan Blanco. That's his personal cell number. Wednesday night, Panthers back in action. The only team in town that matters. The only team in town that actually is doing it right. 7:00 is the face-off against the Panthers and the Maple Leafs. Game 5 in Toronto. It's tied 2-2. Let's see if the boys can get it done. Inter Miami tomorrow night will visit San Jose at 10:30. Knicks last night over the Celtics, 121-113. They lead 3-1. Jason Tatum suffered a lower leg injury. It looks like an Achilles to me. They haven't said it, but it's what it looks like, unfortunately for him. And it looks like the Knicks are one win away from advancing. The T-Wolves are about to end Jimmy Butler's season. They beat him last night, 117-110. They are now leading 3-1. Lazy-ass Butler played 34 minutes, only scored 14 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 turnovers. Tonight, Pacers and Cavs. Indy looking to eliminate the Cavs. Indy leading 3-1 in this one. And 9:30, Nuggets and Thunder in that one. 9:30 tip. By the way, Thunder favored by 10. Over and under is 220.5. And the Mavs won the draft lottery last night. They'll get the number 1 pick in the draft. I wonder who they'll select. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. All right. Bitcoin, where are we at, Bitcoin? What are we doing? 103,000. Let me get an update here. It says 656, but sometimes you got to refresh it here and see what we got. But we're holding pretty strong. Yeah, 575. There we go. That's where we're at now. 581. Just changed. But holding strong. And about to take off very soon. I can tell you that. That's for sure. Cage the Elephant, for you music fans, coming to the Hard Rock Live Thursday, September 18th. Enjoy. I like it. Although 2 other bands are opening up for Cage the Elephant. Soft Play, and Girl Tones. Don't know any of those bands. Although that could be the name of the Miami Dolphins, Soft Play. That might be perfect, actually. Soft Play. That's very Dolphin-ish right there. All right. By the way, Toyota of Hollywood, a proud sponsor. We are going to be there. Isn't it tomorrow? Right? Tomorrow, right, Sean? I think wait a minute. I don't have my camera on you. Tomorrow, right? Yes, we are. Tomorrow, we're at Toyota of Hollywood, noon. And they've got the Tacoma double cab SR5 four-wheel drive right now, $399 a month. They are the number one volume Toyota dealership in the Southeast United States. It is like it's like a mall, really. Floor after floor after floor, all under roof. Cars, 2,000 cars, over 1,200 new cars. No payments for 90 days, 2.75% financing for 4 full years, 0% down. Take advantage, folks. 1841 North State Road 7. The 4Runner is beautiful, man. The Camry Hybrid, the Prius. And the Prius, by the way, is just absolutely gorgeous. The Supra. Go check it out. The RAV4, absolutely awesome SUV. Full line of Toyota vehicles out there. A service center that is freaking enormous. It's so big, it's got a couple of restaurants. Okay. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's so big. There's so many employees, so many customers, service center, all that. They have to have 2 restaurants in the building. Think about that. That's the kind of traffic. They move a lot of cars. That's why they can give you some great prices and the best selection. So if you're going to go look for a Corolla like my daughter did, she bought a Corolla there. She had like 75 Corollas to pick from. You go choose a Camry. There might be 40, 50, 100 Camrys. Oh, I'm looking for a RAV4. Okay, here you go. We got 35 of them you can choose from. It's like ridiculous. You can pick the car, the style, the model, the extras that you like, you don't want. They got all kinds to kind of satisfy everybody. And that's what they do. At 1841 North State Road 7 on 441 between Hollywood and Sheridan is Toyota of Hollywood. All right. What is it? Definitely not the only team that matters. Well, winning-wise. You know what I mean? They're the only ones that actually are doing something that matters. Nobody else is doing anything that matters. You know? Let's be honest. Unfortunately, in our pro situation for sports, we have one team only. No one else is doing anything that matters. Inter Miami is completely headed downhill. Hell, they couldn't even get out of the first round last year with all those dudes. Freaking amazing. Marlins are definitely not going anywhere. Dolphins aren't winning anything. And the Heat, come on, man. They're the kings of the play-in. They're the proud representatives of the play-in. Is that awesome or what? The Miami Heat take pride in the play-in. Diddy's lawyer asked Cassie's husband to leave the courtroom as she testifies about freak-offs. That poor Cassie, bro. What she went through, holy moly. I hope that guy pays a serious price. Big O, it's 20% off Flanagan's tonight. You going? Probably, you know what? I do love that seafood gumbo soup. But there's no Panther game on tonight. What am I going to watch? The NBA basketball games I'll watch at home. Maybe what I can do is pick up some food. Do I get 20% off for picking up food? No, I can do that. I'm in for a little seafood gumbo. Derek says, I got a Toyota Yaris from Toyota of Hollywood back in 2010. Back then, it was a much smaller dealership. It was much bigger now, and it's a nice deal. Yeah, no, it's grown now, God. It is a superstore now, dude. When they built that whole thing, I don't know how long ago it was, 7, 8, 9 years ago or whatever. Yeah, it's grown leaps and bounds, man. It's a massive, massive dealership now. And smart, very smart to build that whole parking lot thing. That was absolutely genius. Corso, thank you. What would the Dolphins have to do to get you optimistic? Win the first 5 games? Yeah, go 4-1, 5-0. Yeah, that'll start getting me interested. You know what I'm saying? Of course. Now, strong starts are nothing new for us. It's about the strong finish, but that would help. That would help out. Yeah, that would help. This is the 03 Marlins. I'm not saying it's going to happen. What I'm saying is no one expected the 03 Marlins to do anything that they did. In fact, the first 2 months were an absolute disaster. It was so bad they had to fire the manager. And then they hired a new manager, and then the magic started right from that second. So and none of us saw it coming. Nobody ever even said they were a playoff team or anything like that at the beginning of the year. They weren't only a playoff team, they became the hottest team in the majors. I think from June 1st on, they had the best record in the majors. And then they went on to beat even the Yankees for the World Series. None of us expected that. That's what I'm talking about. Because I expect nothing from this team this year at all. I have no expectations. So, yeah, it'll take several wins to convince me that they're real, that he knows how to coach. I need to see him adjust. I need to see him get plays in on time. I need to see him outsmart the opponent. I need to see his players constantly prepared. I can't see players that are on the field every week after they continually screw up. Julian Hill. Yeah, you want to convince me? That's what it's going to take, Corso. It's going to take convincing. And there's no convincing, unfortunately. Let me do a little musica. Always love doing a little music. Can't wait for next week, dude. Right? Is it next week? No, it's this Friday. I'm going to AC/DC. I can't wait. This Friday, AC/DC, and then Saturday, Morrissey. Can't wait for that, dude. That is awesome. Looking forward to the weekend. It is going to be a fun weekend. By the way, any of you out there on going to AC/DC, reach out to me on DM so we can hook up and say hi. Would love that. All right, let's go to birthdays today. Let's start off with musicians celebrating birthdays on the 13th. Morgan Wallen, country singer, born in 93. Michael Madden, bass player with Maroon 5, born in 79. Buckethead, the guitarist, Brian Patrick Carroll, born in 69. Darius Rucker, The Dolphins Make Me Cry, Hootie and the Blowfish, I didn't know Rucker was born my year, 66. I didn't know that. We're both Dolphin fans, both born in 66, the year that the Dolphins were rising from the ashes, like Hootie and I. Damn. Okay. All right. Paul Thompson, drummer with Roxy Music, born in 51. Julian Brookhouse from Curiosity Killed the Cat. Wow. That is a blast from the past. Stevie Wonder, the legend, born in 1950 on this date. Overend Watts, bassist with Mott the Hoople, born in 47. Magic Dick, harmonica player with the Jay Giles Band, born in 45. Mary Wells, singer, legend, my guy, born in 43. Richie Valens, singer-songwriter, born in 41. And that's it for musicians. Now let's go with famous folk, born on the 13th. Some with us, some aren't, as always. Boxing Hall of Famer Joe Louis was born in 1914. B. Arthur, born in 1922. Harvey Keitel, born in 39. He's 86. Still with us. Awesome. Excuse me. Dennis Rodman, born in 61. He's 64 today. Stephen Colbert, born in 64. He's 61. John Richardson from Gin Blossoms, born in 64. He's 61. And Pusha T, born in 77. He's 48. Robert Pattinson, born in 86. He's 39. And that is it. Sean Stanley. Do we have wrestlers or wrestlers born on this date, sir?
Yes, sir. We got some wrestlers. Brutus Creed turns 29. Glacier, 61. Jimmy Wang Yang turns 44. Piper Niven, she's 34. And the great Scarlett Bordeaux, she turns 34 on May 13th, 2025.
Yeah. All right. All right. Speaking of glaciers, I just saw a story yesterday about that glacier that's like the size of, like it's bigger than the state of New Hampshire. And it's been floating around for like 40 years. And it's caught in some like this spot in the ocean, up in the Pacific Ocean, where it just normally would float down the Pacific and would melt and all that, but it's staying up there. So it's not floating down in warmer waters. And so it just spins and spins. It's like this enormous, iceberg that broke off 40 years ago, dude. 40 years ago. It's crazy, man. Crazy shit. Anyway, let's go with rock history. What happened today in music history on May 13th? In 2006, Godsmack had the number one album in the country with 4, their second record to top the charts. In 93, an episode of The Simpsons titled Krusty Gets Canceled aired, featuring the voices of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. In 69, Led Zeppelin became the first major British rock group to perform in Hawaii when they played the Civic Auditorium in Honolulu in 69. There's a very famous, and they cleaned it up. If you like Jimi Hendrix, there's a really good concert of him in Maui. And they colored it up and everything. It looks really good, dude. And cleaned it up. They digitized it. Really good. Sounds good, too. In 96, Oasis became the fastest selling group in the UK history when all 330,000 tickets for their summer shows sold out in just 9 hours. In 85, Bruce Springsteen married actress Julianne Phillips in Lake Oswego, Oregon. I probably butchered it. I'm sorry. The pair would divorce 4 years later. So they got out of the tunnel of love, in other words. In 66, the Kinks recorded their hit song, Sunny Afternoon. In 89, Bon Jovi went to number 1 on the singles charts with I'll Be There For You. In 2004, Courtney Love pleaded not guilty to assault charges after she allegedly hit a fan over the head with a mic stand. After the plea, the rocker held a press conference in the ladies' room of the Manhattan Criminal Court. She still should be in jail. Scum with 2 legs. That's what I call that. Let's see. What do we have here? Oh, gotta feel even worse for Rucker. He's a Finns fan and a Gamecocks fan. Yeah. Yeah, that is bad. Dolphins and Gamecocks. Wow. So, good morning, Big O and Sean. Hope all is well. Josh says, what up, O? Did you talk about seafood? No. The owner of the Panthers?
Yeah, it looks like he was suspended by the NHL for a tweet that he got into a tweet with some fans.
Oh well. Whatever, I guess. I don't know. I don't know the story, so I can't comment on it. I have no idea. So, whatever. Sometimes people can be idiots, and sometimes I guess they can get the best of you, or sometimes you just want to put them in their place, and it's not the right thing to do, I guess. I don't know. I have to look at the story. I don't know anything about it. But I know if it has to do something with fans, well, then, there's a lot of you out there that are just absolute idiots. I just don't have I don't have problem calling you out for it. Like the George guy. He's picking on me about Spain and then say, well, if it's going to be a shitty season, why am I going to deposit or assist? Well, bro, because it's part of the show, and the service that Sean and I provide is every day. That's kind of part of it. That's what it is. It's not about if it win or loss. So am I supposed to act like a fake asshole and say, oh, it's going to be a great season. Help us get to Spain? No, I'm not a bullshitter, dude. Good, bad, or indifferent. I'm not a bullshitter. So shit like that, I get rid of right away. And I just say, I call out bullshit for what it is. I'm supposed to talk up the season because we're going to Spain? Come on, dude. That would be really phony of me. Oh, so then the same guy, George, is sending a text. Oh, you're only talking up the season because you want to go to Spain. Same guy will do the same shit. Same guy will do the same shit. You never win with people like that. But the beauty of it, for me at least, is I'm going to call your ass out. I'm not just going to let it slide. No, I'm going to call your ass out and expose it. That's all. And if you think you're exposed, like he thought he was exposing me. Well, wait a minute. It's going to be a shitty season. You want to go to Spain and all that. And by the way, sponsors are going to be paying also. You know what I mean? So it's not just listeners. But again, people like that, I don't waste time, bro. I call bullshit for what it is. That's all. See, there you go. Happy to be part of the show. I don't need to read anymore, bro. The fact that you come back shows how guilty you are, dude. The fact that you keep writing, it shows. But it's good because I got to use people like you as an example. Right? And then because you try to call me out, well, I'm going to call you out even more. So I'll make you the horse's ass on the show constantly. That's what I'll do, George. Okay? So I'll call your bullshit out every way possible because you can't call mine out because there is no bullshit. We want to go to Spain, and yeah, it's going to suck the season. Yeah. That's it. That week might be special because you're in Spain and you're playing Washington. Or the Bengals if the Madrid mayor was right. Whatever. Fun game. We'll see if we can put up our share of fun game. But outside of that, we're going to call bullshit for what it is. George. Anyway, what else do we have going on in the world of sports? By the way, did you see the Capitals? They're down 3-1 to the Canes. Okay. Washington had the best record in the East. Second best, I think, right? Because it's Winnipeg, I think it is. And by the way, the Jets are losing right now. They're down 2-1 also to Dallas. Okay. And they had the best record in the West. Last year, the Rangers had the best record. Sean, did the Rangers win the cup? No. few years back, we had the best record. Did we win the cup? Isn't it screwed up how it works out that way, dude? And after the Panthers had the best record and lost, we've never done it again. We've never done it again. They have coasted the last couple of seasons on the back end. They don't even kill themselves down the stretch. They start resting people. They don't care if they're a second or a third or a fourth seed. They'll go on the road if they have to because, as we've talked about, home ice doesn't matter in hockey. But it is amazing, dude, how in that sport, having the best record is it's like bad luck. It's a detriment. You're sapeando, as we say in Spanish. And un sapo. You're just like you just gave yourself all kinds of bad juju. Not even Joe Boo will save your ass. Yes, sir.
I think it's because you try to play so hard the whole season. By the time you get to the playoffs, you're beat. You're beat. You played out all your good. You played all your good hockey. Now, because again, most of the time in the playoffs, if your goalie gets hot, and the players, pick up, that's all you need. That's the recipe to win the Stanley Cup.
Amen. But it is amazing to me, dude. And I'm looking at it, and I know I follow the rest of the NHL very casually. I'm never going to say, I'm this expert hockey guy. I follow basketball heavy. I follow football heavy, obviously. Baseball, I've kind of lost a lot of interest in it, to be quite honest, because of the Marlins. I just have almost no interest in baseball, and the game is really boring. But hockey, I follow it casually, but this is an obvious thing to follow. And it's cool because we had people that were kind of worried about the Panthers down the stretch, and I kind of mentioned it to them that they did that last year also. So it's something that we got to get used to, this group, that, they're going to play hard, and they're going to play really well, and they're going to be up one of the better teams, and they're going to all try to be one of the better teams. But towards the end, they're going to pace themselves, and they don't care if they suffer a couple of extra losses. They don't care if they get knocked down in the standings. What they care about is trying to get to the playoffs as healthy and fresh as possible. What did I say about the Ekblad suspension? Remember? Oh, man, he got suspended. I was like, I'm glad he's suspended for 20 games. Why? Panthers are deep. They can get by without him, and they did. And now you also save Ekblad, and you get him fresher for the playoffs. You don't risk injury, and he stays fresh. I love it. No problem with it whatsoever. And I think Sean nailed it. These teams, just like the Panthers, they love to pat themselves on, we're the best team in the league. 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 And we're winning. We got more points than everybody. And he's right. You get to the end of the season and you killed yourself to have the best record in the league. And then you can't survive the brutal 2 months of the playoffs, which, by the way, become much more physical than the regular season. So you're worn out, and now you've got to get to the most physically tiring part of the season, the 2 months of the playoffs. If you want to get to the Stanley Cup, you have to have endurance that is just absolutely wacky. So this is great for us because, we're still a young hockey town. While I'm 58, I'm still a young hockey fan in a way that I'm still getting educated and learning about the game and the nuances and everything else. I'm going to be brutally honest. I know that George doesn't like honesty. He likes bullshit. But, we are brutally honest here about, where we stand. And so I'm learning. And this is good. It's good for us to learn about this because we also are dealing with success, something we've never dealt with as Panther fans. We don't know what it's like to have a team go to the playoffs 6 straight years. We have no idea what it's like to have a team go to the Stanley Cup 2 straight years and attempting to do it 3 straight. Now we're learning. Now we're learning all these little things. Now we're learning all these things about you don't have to kill yourself to have the best record.
You don't have to kill yourself to have home ice throughout the way. This isn't the NFL. This isn't the NBA. It's different in this league. You can easily win on the road. You don't have to be the favorite. You know what I'm saying? You have to play it smart. It's so physical. You must pace yourself. Not like, these soft-ass NBA players pace themselves. Ridiculous. Guys like Butler that go to a tennis match and then they can't show up the next day. So this is cool. And it's good. It's a nice learning experience for all of us about our Panthers, about NHL culture, and those kind of things. So I saw that and I made a note of it, and I thought it'd be a decent talking point because we can relate to it so easily watching our team grow and mature, because they had to learn this too. They had to learn not to touch the Eastern Conference. What's the name of the Eastern Conference trophy? I forgot now. But they had to learn not to touch it, right? Last year when it was there, Barkov, they skated away from that thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's fun. It's fun to see all those kind of little things, and it makes us all better hockey fans, more educated hockey fans. Cool shit. Big O, that shows how different regular season hockey over the long haul is than playoff hockey in the short term. 7-game series teams and especially goalies can get hot for 7 games. Amen. Yes, sir, Sean Stanley.
It's the Prince of Wales trophy.
That's it.
And then also Anthony Stolarz was back on the ice today. But the segment that they showed, it was just him and another coach. He was in full pads and stuff. But it looks like maybe he's going through like a battery test or something to see.
Yeah, that's testing.
I don't know what their
reaction is,
but yeah,
and those kind of things. He's not returning tomorrow. No way. There's no way he returns tomorrow. By the way, Hull is the name of the other guy, right? He played pretty well the other night, dude.
Whoa.
He played pretty well the other night. Okay, I mean he's going up against the Panthers. He's not taking on some shitty team. He's taking on the world champions, and they're loaded, and they might be better than they were last year. Okay, but the character of this team, God, it's so inspirational. The Panthers are just incredibly inspirational, dude. Really, it's a really beautiful thing to see. Anyway, we are going to wrap it up here. We thank all of you out there, as always, for tuning in. Those of you, of course, to hit the like button. If you made a donation, if you visited our sponsors, things that George never does, those kind of things, that you didn't complain about us or anything like that, things that, of course, George does on a normal basis throughout his life and on this show. But outside of George, we appreciate the rest of you out there. Thank you for supporting the show. Appreciate it. Visit our amazing sponsors, as always, BigCheeseMiami.com, Acura Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park, which will be there on Thursday, by the way. And you can use that QR code right there to get a $100 no-regret first bet. You make the bet, you get your $100 no-regret first bet, and you're off and running. That way you can make some bets throughout the playoffs and enjoy yourselves. We appreciate it. We thank the great Sean Stanley. We shall see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.
This is the Big O Show.